Host, now the person that can get it. There's a higher risk group, and so if you're ever stuck in a situation, in a bug-in situation, a bug out, whatever, and you have to take care of a person that is getting sick, there's a whole group that you should probably try to not put in contact, and those are the ones. And so basically, the young and the old has basically all has to do with the immune system. If you have a low immune system, your risk of getting disease are higher up. That makes kind of sense. A pregnant woman as well, it has like it's for a special, separate things. But so if you have any chronic medical disease like asthma, diabetes, chronic lung disease like COPD, cystic fibrosis, you should be taking care of somebody that is sick. So try to keep it for the young, healthy person that got all their vaccination and everything. Those would be the good ones to take care of. Try to leave one person to take care of all that group. And again, I'll do another video talking a little bit more about that. But this is the higher risk groups, and it varies from, again, from the host, from the agent, different agent, different risk group. But most of the time, they all come back. Like the children and the elderly always come back. Diabetes always come back. Kidney disorder, liver disorder, metabolic disorder. So metabolic disorder, like mitochondrial disorder, weakening immune system again. And the people who are morbidity obese has a higher risk for a lot of them. So basically, if you fit in any of those and you have a choice, try to do it. And again, try it. Then after that, like maybe take the person that is. So if you have, like, let's say a choice between this, try to keep the pregnant woman away, the young children obviously away and stuff. And so go from. To choose your different, and we'll do another video on that. But this is basically the higher risk group. And so again, to be infected and to have the disease is a different thing, but this group can get infected and have disease way much easier and faster than most of the people. And then there's the environment, and the environment is mostly related to poorly ventilated room. So a lot of the disaster, we talk a little bit about that, and we'll talk a little bit more about it in the prevention part. But what you want is spacing is because of overcrowding. So if you have like a stadium and everybody is crammed there, and you're cramming like 200,000 people in this one environment, there's not good ventilations and stuff. Or if the room looks like what you have now, because that's what you were able to hide yourself and everything. You see a lot of molds here, and obviously there's poor ventilation, not natural light, and so obviously that's like a nice environment for ground, and kind of see water here for vectors to grow in, and for disease and everything to grow. So you don't want that kind of environment, and so in the environment you want to try to keep it away. Why the UV light is that, and we'll talk a little bit more about in the prevention and other videos, but UV lights have shown some benefits. And so if you have like a very open, if you have a room that is has nice windows and everything, it could kill a lot of the bacteria. And actually, I'm reading a little bit more about that, because that's a new concept I've just read about too. But it makes sense as well, because UV light is used to kill a lot of bacteria and virus. And so in developing country, they use those concepts for like TB wards and things. So have a good ventilation, space people, so that, like for example, if you have the droplets, it's about 3 meters around, so try to keep a good distance between the beds, so even if you have droplets, then it doesn't contaminate other people. And wear leaded and with natural lights. And then the other one for the environment is the vector controls. And for that, what you want, there's pretty much three ones that increase the risk of having infection. Is mosquito, so vectors are a lot of time transmitted by mosquitoes. I forgot what it was. I think it was every time there was a drought, West Nile virus increased because what happens, yes, it was West Nile, because what happened is that the birds goes away and the insects, so the mosquitoes that likes to usually take the birds, and again, this is shown of that triangle, is that the birds, the mosquitoes that usually feeds on the birds, so usually those are the O's, they fly away because there's a drought, so they go somewhere else and stuff. So now the mosquitoes need to feed on something, and what they do is they go to the humans, and because they bite more humans, they transfer a lot of West Nile virus. And so the Nest virus usually has a peak in drought populations. So that's one of them. So mosquito net like this, very easy to carry in bug out situation or even in bug in situation and stuff, like they're very small and carry in, so that way you can decrease a lot of your mosquitoes. Pest control, so rats or any other pests that you could have, especially in the city where they have like a high risk of other disease and carrier, and not just like, you know, like typhoid or whatever other disease that we don't have big reservoir here, but another disease that I'll talk a little bit more, leptospirosis. Anyway, I'll put the names. I can never pronounce that one. The urine of rats is very high, and actually, I'll put even a link on an article that I was showing that here in Vancouver we have some case related to that. Again, because right now the rats are kept away from the clean city, but if you would have a disaster or you would lose like your cleaning facility, and this is what happened also in a disaster, is that let's say you have a big flu pandemic, and a lot of the people that are used to either spray their grass or do anything for pest control, they're not on the job anymore. Well, now you have increase in vectors that carries. And the clean water chain, and we'll talk a little bit more about that again in future video, but basically it's not just about having clean water, but you want to be sure that from the time that you collect this water and then you purify or you clean this water, also there's a lot of cross-contamination just by either leaving your water open or using a cup that is contaminated by somebody else that was contaminated. So your water can be nice, clean and everything, but the containers, if you're using and you're breaking up that water chain, then you can contaminate a lot of people. So for example, if I have diarrhea, or I just took care of someone that had diarrhea and I washed my hands just because I did contact versus GI contact, and I just wash my hands with alcohol thinking that I'm clean, and I go and I drink a glass of water and somebody else drink that glass of water, well, now I just transmitted the bacteria or the virus or whatever that the patient was infected with into this cup of water. So the water could be the cleanest water ever, but the container that I've used is stuff. So that's what the water chain is, and we'll talk a little bit about that. So anyway, I wanted to bring a little bit those concepts so that you can keep them in mind when we'll do future videos, and I'll put links on a few courses and stuff that those things came from, and it's very interesting. Like again, I've been having a lot of fun watching that stuff and everything, learning a lot about those things, and I'll talk to you soon.